So I'd like to share with you guys a story. 5 years after starting MindValley, I was in a more miserable state than I was if I had never become an entrepreneur. And maybe some of you have experienced this. I'm 5 years into the business, and me and my business partner at that time, Mike, realized that we are more broke than if we had never bothered to start this business at all. I remember it was May 2008. We were doing about $250,000 in revenue a month, which sounds good, right? But the fact is, we were burning through $15,000 a month, and our bank accounts were getting lower and lower and lower. My partner still had his college debts to pay. I had debts I had to take care of. We couldn't afford to live the life we really wanted to. And to be honest, we felt really frustrated and we wondered what on earth were we doing. May 2008 was a really tough month for us because I calculated that if things didn't change in about 3 months, we'd have to dissolve the company, MindValley, and let go of all 18 of our employees. So it was a stressful time. Now, sometime that summer, a friend of my father's, a guy by the name of Vincent, gave me tickets to an event that was happening in the city. It was by a guy called Harv Eker, and the event was about the millionaire mindset, right? And so Mike and I thought, well, we've always wanted to be a millionaire. We are nowhere close, but this might be interesting to attend. Now, we had a number of free tickets, so I went with Mike, and we also made it available to some of our employees, and 9 of our employees came with us. So we sat there in this room. We were listening to this guy, Harv Eker, on stage, and it was Friday. We had taken time off from work to listen to this man. And by the end of Friday, Mike is like, this is utter bullshit. Vishen, why are we here? Can I just leave? And Mike and I were so close to walking out that door. We didn't feel we were learning anything, but we decided to just stay anyway because we saw our employees, they were really into this guy. So we stayed on Saturday and on Sunday. And by the end of that 3-day event, something shifted. I remember a moment I turned to Mike and he had tears streaming down his eyes. And he looked at me and I was welling up because we'd realized what had gone wrong in our lives as entrepreneurs. You see, business schools, they tell you that you need a certain amount of marketing knowledge or strategy or hiring strategies to build that company. What they don't tell you is that your business, your career is only going to grow to the extent of your mindset around money. And learning from this man, Harv Eker, on stage, I realized that I was limited by a certain mindset. And because our beliefs become real in the world, this mindset was keeping me stuck in this bubble that wouldn't expand. For example, I grew up in an Asian family. My grandfather and my father were immigrants. They had come to a new country. They had started a business. And like all immigrants, they had to work really, really, really hard to survive. So I grew up as a teenager watching my dad starting his business. I remember working with him long hours at a warehouse, hauling boxes of textiles into the back of lorries. It was back-breaking work. It wasn't the most enjoyable job. And I realized at that seminar that somewhere in my mind, I developed this belief that to be successful, you had to work hard. And I also saw that my father, my grandfather, they were becoming successful. They could afford the house. They could afford to provide only when they were in their 40s or 50s. I was 32 at that time. And somehow in my mind, I just assumed that I would have to wait to be 40 before I was truly successful. So as I was at this seminar, I started seeing these mental blocks in my head. I started realizing that deep down inside, I believed that because I was working reasonable hours, because I was a father of a 1-year-old child, I didn't want to come back from work at 9 p.m. I realized that because I was working reasonable hours, I had told myself that I wouldn't be successful yet. Because I was only 32, I told myself, I'm not going to be a millionaire for another decade or so. All of these beliefs were suffocating me. Now here's what happened. At the end of that seminar, we went back to our lives. We went back to our business. We set new goals for ourselves. It was still May 2008, and the company was still 3 months away from dissolving. But something incredible happened. In a span of 8 months, from May 2008 to December 2008, MindValley expanded and grew and exploded. We went from $250,000, and we'd been stuck. We'd never gone above $250,000 in about 5 years, to $1 million in annual revenue by December, a 400% improvement in revenue in 8 months. Mike and I, our lives completely changed. We now had cash in the bank. We could expand the team. the beautiful MindValley offices that you see, we put a down payment on that office in January 2009 after we had such a successful December. The MindValley that you know today happened because I, as an entrepreneur, got out of some bullshit mindset that was keeping me suppressed. And that's why today, when entrepreneurs ask me what's the biggest barrier holding entrepreneurs back, I always say it's your mindset around money. Now, the story doesn't end there. I said I took 9 of my employees along with us, right? Now, here's the really cool thing. Of the 9 employees who came and spent those 3 days with me, Mike, and Harv, 2 years later, we were talking about it and something interesting happened. 4 of the 9 ended up going out and starting their own business. One became one of the most amazing yoga and fitness trainers in the city. Another started a tech company that's become crazy successful. 4 of the employees who stayed with us, they were still working for us, but they had increased their income considerably. They were getting promotion after promotion. Only one I lost track of. She was an intern who had to go back to university, but last I heard she got a job at Google, so I'm sure she's well taken care of. But it was amazing to see how a mindset shift could cause such tremendous effects in someone's life. And so, fast forward many years later, I'm super excited to be able to bring Harv Eker to MindValley Academy so that these mindset shifts that I experience might come to you too. If you're curious to learn more about Harv Eker, I invite you to join us on a masterclass with me and Harv. It's about a 90-minute conversation, but Harv is going to go through many of the key ideas that I think are so important to shifting our mindset around money and removing that glass ceiling that keeps so many of us of getting into the next stage of our lives. The information is below this video.